Hi everybody, welcome back to Art by the Lake. Happy pre-New Year. It's about to be New Year. Not quite New Year's yet, but holiday vacation means more time to pour paint. So I've been asked a bunch of times, so I thought today we would take care of some of the requests for I want to do something simple. Today we're using 3 colors, just 3 colors. Black's over here, white, and red. We're going to use some relatively simple techniques. I have my stainless steel straw to blow the paint around, and I have a little palette knife too if I want to drag something over the top and clean up the edges and so forth. So I'm just very loosely thinking this corner will be black, this corner will be white, and then this will be red. So the stripe of red right down the middle. I have mixed up quite a bit of paint, and I'm going to give them one last stir while I chit chat. It is 2 parts Floetrol, 1 part paint, and 1 part distilled water. And in this case, that equates to about 4 ounces of Floetrol, 2 ounces of paint, and 2 ounces of distilled water. The only difference here is I mixed just a tiny bit more red, and I added coconut milk serum to the red to generate some cells. And you want to mix these good. I also mix the Floetrol and the paint first and mix that really well, and then I stir in the distilled water because that doesn't really want to mix as quickly as the Floetrol and paint do. So it's going to get a little messy here. That's why I've got my gloves on. We're going to go with some white up in here, some black up in here, and then fire the red right down the middle. So without any further delay here, there's the black. People have been asking me too about storing paint after you've mixed it. I tend to mix it fresh, but I am experimenting with that a little bit, so I would say stay tuned. It seems like if you put it in a sealed bottle, it will remain just fine. It won't get hard, or it won't get flaky or anything like that. I actually have a little cup of red here that is months old, and if need be, it's just off to my right over here. I just have a piece of foil on a paper cup, and you can see it's still fluid. I don't know, I'm not planning to use it unless I have to in this painting. So the black is down, the white is down, and then we're really just going to fire the red down the middle. And I'm going to let the paint sort of slowly interact and see how it behaves. Corners are always a problem. I don't really like to tilt any more than I have to. So you can see that the paints are starting to flow together. I'm going to let that happen. And then we'll just see what happens next. But again, very simple here, right? 3 colors. Nothing fancy. No blends, no multiple colors. These are straight out of the bottle too. I use all different kinds of paint, and I don't use real expensive paint. So when I get a good idea, I will buy a little bit more expensive paint. But for all the testing and so forth that I do, I don't like to buy expensive paint. So you can see the reds and whites starting to mix here. That's kind of interesting. The reds and the blacks are mixing down here. And once they mix a little bit better, we're going to start to force the red up into the white. And we're going to do that with the straw. But I just want to make sure that everybody has good contact here. So I'm going to do just a tiny bit more black and a tiny bit more red. I want the red to come down into the black area down here. I want that to be the first thing we do. So we're going to start out with the straw. And the only trick I've learned so far is that the straw condenses a little bit of moisture in it, so every so often I have a paper towel here, and I use that just to dry the tip of the straw. So let's see if we can get the red to play with the black a little bit more. Interesting so far, right? This is why I made a lot of red, because I want to keep replenishing the red supply here in the middle, so that I can actively force it into the black and into the white. So you can see we've got some pretty interesting results here. I'm liking what's going on. And we can, if you want, we can take some of the black and force it up over the red like that. And again, keep a paper towel handy here because you want to go with a clean palette knife every time. And you can do this with the white as well. If you wanted to, you could force this white down into the red, like that, and see what happens. I'm kind of actually liking what it looks like with just blowing the air across it. You can see we're getting some cell activity here. That I like. And so we're going to bring out the blowtorch and wake up some of those cells and get rid of some of the bubbles. You can see there are bubbles. I'm sure when you look through here you can see quite a bit of the bubbling. There we go. Most of those bubbles will just pop when confronted with the heat. So this evens it out, wakes up some cells. Keep the blowtorch moving. Unless you like the smell of burnt paint, keep the blowtorch moving. I know sometimes it's tempting to sit in one spot, but don't do it. So we've got some edges down here to clean up with some black. So we're going to take care of that. We've got quite a bit of good drift here. I can't really see the far side, so after I stop the video I'll probably peek around the other side and see if I can get that all covered to make sure there's no canvas exposed. I'm kind of just pouring blindly here. So I'll mess around with the straw a little bit more, but I think this is really, really nice. It looks good. You've got quite a bit of cell activity down in here. You've got a really nice blend of the black and red and the red and white. I'm going to try to get a little more red maybe up into here so that we minimize the amount of white space up there. but overall, I think it looks really good. This is a 3-color, simple black and white and red pour. Nothing fancy here, like I said, coconut milk serum in the red only. Everything else is just water and Floetrol and paint. If you like what we're doing, please subscribe to us on YouTube at Art by the Lake. You're sitting there right now, so click on subscribe. It should be right there, down in here somewhere. If you have any questions, you can always send them to me, artbythelake@gmail.com. This painting is really a result of that. If you like what we're doing, and you're interested in buying any of our paintings and supporting us, you can find us on eBay at Art by the Lake, and you can also find us at Etsy at Art by the Lake. We do quite a bit less on Etsy and quite a bit more on eBay, just because it's a bigger audience and it exposes the paintings to more people, and we sell a few more. So thank you for tuning in today. As always, if you like what we're doing, please let us know and comment. If you don't, let us know and comment. We'll respond to all the comments and questions as well. 3 colors, black, white, and red. Happy New Year!